Good morning everyone. So we've decided after our last trip that we would make some big changes to the Snowy, performance wise, tyres, wheels, everything's getting changed from the chassis down. For one, we wanted a bit more height, and to do that you basically have to add another piece of steel through here, have it all welded on, refit your suspension. We also wanted to go to a 16-inch tyre because this size, we got 235, 75, 15. They're not exactly very accessible in Australia. Yeah, a lot of people have trouble finding them when they're in those remote towns or just in general. Even now, if I jump on Google, I'm in Brisbane, so I'm in a major city, and I type in that tyre size, very limited. And a lot of them are, you know, your more Chinese brand tyres. I don't specifically have a problem with the Chinese brands. It's just purely the fact that, yeah, they're just a hard bloody tyre to find. So, I know a lot of people have been asking, mainly on the Snowy page, what we're going to do to the van. And this week, it's going into Cruisemaster to have a GVM upgrade. It's going to 3.3 tonne. They're also fitting up their freestyle XT suspension, so that's coil twin shock suspension. And we're also getting them to engineer these King off-road rim. They're rated at 1600 kilos per rim, and the tyre is now a 245/70/16. We've trial fitted these to make sure that the gap is still there. We didn't want to go too big a tyre and have that gap closed up too much. So although it does look a lot taller if you compare the things, it's only about 10 mil bigger. So that was a big thing for us. We had to sort of stick to the similar size. We've gone a fair bit wider. So we've gone 245, which side by side they are a good 20 mil wider. We've gone an aggressive like hybrid tyre. So this is a rugged terrain. So it has the same compounds as an all-terrain, but it has a chunkier tread. So it should tow really well. They're a very strong sidewall tyre, so we can let them down. We found with these, once we let them down, they sort of sit on this ridge right here, and yeah, they're just more prone to punctures and stuff. So we've decided to go with something with a really chunky sidewall, so that when we need to let the pressures out, that's all fine. So with this combination here and the suspension we're putting in, it's going to be a good package, I think.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone in progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone in progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all in my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with it, who lying for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust you. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the fucking.
We went with the XT Freestyle suspension from Cruisemaster. Consists of two shockies, one coil spring on each wheel. This is one of their best sellers, even above and beyond the airbag stuff that they're doing at the moment. These are more common. They've moved my tank. My water tank used to be here, dropped down here, so they moved that to the back. And they've moved this one here. You can see the bolt hanging down there. That's where the old tank used to start, and they moved that one further forward. So they've basically centralized them to the axles, so that the weight is still, you know, around about center. We also always drain both the tanks at the same time. I know a lot of people don't like doing that, but we find it rides a lot better because you're equally draining the tanks. So yeah, apart from that, what else have they done? They've extended the water fill up just here with the clear, these are all clear hoses they put on, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I don't know. It would be good to see, I guess, what quality water we've got in there. This also will probably act as a bit of a, you could actually see how full the water tank is then. Yeah, they've just been under here for about 10 minutes having a quick look around, make sure nothing stands out that I'm not happy with, but they've done a bloody good job. Obviously, that's why you pay these guys to do it, because they really do a quality product. There's a bit more of a look at the suspension. Everything's zip tied. It's got a little runner there for the wiring. Yeah. Very cool. So let's get started with why. Alright, so we did a couple 100 k's of corrugations. Basically, the van got rattled. You know, it got shaken up a fair bit from that corrugations, and it just blew all confidence that I had in the torsions doing the lap when we come to do that. Because I think we're going to find ourselves on those type of roads, not hunting for them, but we're just going to find them along the way. So I needed confidence in the gear, obviously. Yeah, torsions. After the trip, when I got back, I just rang Cruisemaster, told them we want to upgrade the suspension, and they said no worries, let's get it done for you. So basically, yeah, I lost confidence in the axles. I know a lot of people aren't going to like hearing that, but that's just my opinion. Is they're not they're not designed to take shock. All right, they're good for holding the weight. They're good for low maintenance and all that stuff, but just the comfort for the van, I don't think they're designed very well for that. My opinion. Alright, so we also wanted a bit of height, a bit of extra ground clearance in the van. Even if we kept the torsions, I said 100% has to be higher, because it dragged the back end. It didn't drag it, but it got close to dragging the back end, even just leaving a few sort of off-camber driveways and stuff like that. It does get very close, so I wanted to lift the van at least 100 mil, so that was another deciding factor. And the final one was payload. So we actually, when we did the lithium setup and did a few little modifications to the van, we actually chewed into our payload a fair bit, quite a bit more than I thought I would have. But that's all good, it's all rectified now, so we're back on track, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. So, that being said, let's get into the weights. I will try and put them up somewhere on the screen. I've just got a couple of cheat sheets down here. That can go away now. Factory weight of the van, 2,357 kilos. So, it's a very light van from standard. That basically came with the 1 AGM battery, 1 solar panel, limited, basically everything was limited. You can still easily travel with that sort of setup, but yeah, I don't really want to get too much into the electrical side of things, but basically we went the full off-grid system so that we're not limited to caravan parks, and we shouldn't have to plug into power realistically for our whole trip if we don't have to. So, or if we don't want to, sorry. So yeah, that being said, that's why we did the lithium, but we did chew into our payload. So 2357 kilos. We've actually added 339 kilos worth of battery, solar panels, electrical cables. There's some thick ass cables down there underneath the van, and that's including the barbecue slide at the front. We kept that in for the final weigh of the Cruisemaster setup. So when we handed the van to Cruisemaster, we basically stripped everything out. We only left things that were fixed to the van. So yeah, all the cutlery came out, bedding, clothing, food, everything came out. Alright, so we're sitting at 2,696 kilos. Now, something to keep in mind is that's with the 2 tanks empty. They're about 95 litres or 100 kilos per tank. So that'd bring it up to 2,896 kilos. That's only given us 100 kilos of allowable weight we can put in the van. So not very good. So after them doing all the conversion, everything, including fitting up our new wheels and tyres, we actually saved 130 kilos. So the van weighed 2,566 kilos, which is, yeah, 130 kilos we shaved off just by doing the conversion on the suspension, which was just, it blew my mind, because I honestly thought their setup would be heavier than the torsions, but I was wrong. So that being said, they upgraded the GVM to 3,300 kilos and a towable weight maximum of 300 kilos. That's just what they're happy with. The drawbar handling. So yeah, 3,300 kilos is our new GVM for the van, allowing us a total of 734 kilos payload that we can add into the van. So even with our tanks full, we should still have around 530 kilos of usable weight that we can store in here, which is, it's far more than I thought we would ever have been able to, you know, get back into the van since we put the lithium and stuff in here. Yeah, I'm super happy with all these figures that they've come back with. The van's lighter than it was. We've got more payload than we needed, and yeah, it's just unreal. So let's just go through the costing. Alright, it's probably the thing that everyone's wondering, is how much did this cost us? Wheels and tyres and the XT freestyle suspension, and it's not cheap. Alright, that's expected. It's a lot of gear, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of labour, but yeah, it's not cheap, but I will go through it. Wheels and tyres came to $2,875, and the Cruisemaster bill, once they'd finished everything off, they actually originally priced it at $11,000, about $11,500. When we picked the van up, it was $10,573, so they actually saved some steel in places they thought they'd need it, and they were happy to tell me that it was $1,000 cheaper when we picked it up. So how awesome is that? On another side of things, well, hang on, let's just tally that up. So wheels and tyres and the suspension upgrade came to $13,448. So yeah, that is another big hit to the pocket. But we were able to sell the standard wheels. We sold them to members on the Snowy group. Most of them are going to run it as a second spare, that's all cool. So we sold our wheels and tyres for $1,000, and we also sold the axles that came out of it for $1,000. So out of pocket, $11,448. I'm very happy with that. Would I do it again? 100%. We're working with really good brands and well-known brands. Also, Cruisemaster they'll back you up. If you have trouble in Western Australia, they'll, you know, put you in the right direction. They'll get it sorted out. So yeah, between the Cruisemaster stuff and the Accelerate off-grid guys doing their electrical stuff, I'm very happy with the way the van's turned out. We're still under $100,000 for basically a full off-grid off-road caravan. Now, I don't know whether Snowy's going to completely wipe the hands of the van. You know, we've changed a few things, but I'm not overly bothered by that. I'm happy to fix things as they come up, and yeah, everything else in the van seems very well built, and yeah, we're very happy with the van in general. It was just the suspension and the electrical that we needed sorted out. So now that we've done that, I think we're going to have a bloody awesome time seeing the rest of Australia. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you want to keep up to date with our travels, stuff we do to the van, the car, anything like that, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single minute of it, and I will see you on the next video.